Hello. So basically, it's all crashed, and so that's why we're starting again.
Shot again.
And
Hello.
hopefully, we can hear you okay. And I am Bez, and you are.
I'm Tom.
And I'm Polly.
Yay! And I'll put it this way so that people can see a little bit more of you. And what we're going to play today is we're going to play Fable, and we were just talking about this earlier that you've definitely played Fable, but you might not have played the new one.
Yeah.
We're going to play Say Anything, which is a game from 2008 by Dominic Crapachet and Satish Pillalamari from North Star Games, who also made Wits and Wagers. And then we'll also play Giftabell is the Plan, which is by David Brain for the L deck. So, just to explain how Fable works, and we'll have a really quick go of that, and then we'll move on to something that people can join in via the comments. So, but before we do all that, like we always like to start, let's talk about something positive in the past couple of days that we can appreciate. And I want to say that I had a really nice chocolate egg today.
Hello.
There's some lovely flowers coming up in the garden. I mean, technically they're weeds, but, they're lovely anyway.
Well, the only thing that constitutes what a weed is or isn't is basically, did you want it there? And if you say retroactively, yes, I wanted this there, this is the flower that I didn't know I wanted, then I think that you are perfectly entitled to say, yes, these are flowers.
That's nice. And we managed to sort out our home office today after I thought I'd made a mess of it yesterday. So that's nice.
Congratulations. So, Fable, if we start off with that, is one of the earliest games for the L deck. And we're going to, let's go in the order that I see everyone, myself, then Polly, then Tom.
Right.
So we'll start off with me. Oh, that's a coincidence. With me using these two letters to talk about some sort of story element. This could be, for example, an egocentric magpie. It doesn't have to be a noun, it can be anything that could be part of a story, but it has to be two words, and adjective noun is the easiest way to do it. Mm-hmm. So, Polly.
Yep. An individual cat.
And will the cat come before or after?
Afterwards.
Okay.
After the magpie.
So, Tom, finally, what have we got?
An electric kitten.
Electric kitten. And where is that going to come? In the middle, at the end, to start? So you've got an egocentric magpie, an individual cat, and an electric kitten.
I think that should come at the end.
As you wish. So now what happens is I start the story, if I sort of hold it so that we can see all the cards, and I will talk about something. I can involve the magpie or I don't have to. So once upon a time, there was a beautiful forest where birds normally came and enjoyed themselves. And now I pick up a card, that's the end of my sentence, and I'm going to say a word that Polly has to use in their sentence, and I'm going to say vampiric. So, Polly, carry on the story using the word vampiric somewhere in your sentence, and you're allowed to talk about the magpie if you want, you don't have to.
All the birds disappeared from the forest because there was a vampiric presence. But there was a...
And now you give a word starting with N or H that Tom has to use.
House.
Tom, continue the story.
In the center of the forest, there was a creepy house, and all the birds around it had disappeared.
Okay. And my word?
Goose.
Goose. So the owner of this house was a great big mother goose, and the child of this goose was, oddly enough, an incredibly egocentric magpie. So now we can talk about the egocentric magpie or the inquisitive cat. But first, I'm going to say that the word for you, Polly, is languidly.
Oh, well, the mother goose just lay around all day languidly, but the eccentric magpie, egocentric magpie, thought it was above that, and so the magpie decided that they were going to solve the problem of all the missing birds.
Now we've got the word for Tom.
Surprise.
So the magpie, believing itself to be the greatest hero that birds had ever known, searched high and low in the forest to find the vampiric presence until it searched this deep dark cave and had an amazing surprise. So I'm leaving the surprise to you.
Okay. And what's my word?
Ruin.
So deep in the center of the cave was a strange person with a cat controlling a robot, and it's sort of like that. The image I'm going for with a tiny mechanoid, but with a cat kind of pulling the levers and going along, and it wondered what was happening, and it said, "Who are you?" To which came the ominous reply, "Well, I should be asking you that, for I am the inquisitive cat." And Polly's word is yuppies.
Well, the cat had decided that it wanted to know more about what was going off locally, because normally if birds are missing, everybody suspects a cat. But it wasn't the cat. So what the cat had done had made a tiny electric kitten to go out into the forest, and the kitten sent back pictures of everything that had happened. And the problem was the area was now full of yuppies.
Oh no.
Okay, and a word for Tom.
Zealous.
And at any time, if you're happy, you can use all 3 story elements and then bring it to a close and say the end.
The yuppies had been ruining everything around them, as I so often do, just by changing all the beautiful nature into identikit suburban houses. And they were so zealous at pursuing their individual egotistical goals that they had completely ignored the beauty around them.
Oh, that's a shame.
Miraculous.
Well, the magpie, of course, reported this back to Mother Goose, and they agreed that they needed to solve the problem, that they would need to find some sort of solution. If it could be miraculous, so the better. But they went off and they decided that they would wage war against the yuppies. And so it came, cats and birds against yuppies. And my word for you is death. Sorry.
So the cats and the birds decided to make as much trouble in the area as they could, and they would leave little presents that weren't very nice all over the area. And the yuppies decided that this was pretty much the death of the area. It had gone really down in their estimation. And so they all moved off and decided to yuppify a different place. And the forest started to turn back into what it used to be. And afterwards, the birds and the cats decided that instead of being enemies, in future they would be friends. And sometimes that meant leaving a little bit of space between themselves, but they thought, it was worth it to have got rid of the yuppies. And perhaps the cats could just eat flies now. So, and so they all lived happily ever after in the forest.
The end.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Run-on sentences for the win.
Oh yeah, it's a game of run-on sentences. I mean, I say one sentence, but that's a very liberal rule. Shall we have one more go of Faybell, or shall we move on to Say Anything or Giftable?
I'm happy with another go of Faybell if you want.
Let's do one more of Faybell.
Yeah.
So, do you want to start this one, Polly?
Yeah.
So we're choosing story elements, and so this game is called Faybell, Faybell.
Right. I'm going to say there's a red-haired girl.
Ooh, red-haired.
Yeah.
Now, what's the next part, Tom?
A nutty undertaker.
And do you want Nutty Undertaker to be before or after?
After.
And I'm going to say that there is an octopus carer. Like, they really care for octopuses. And that's happening in the middle. So, Polly starts off with the first sentence of the story.
Right. There was a squirrel that lived at the seaside, and he had a lot of undertakings with nuts. He was a nutty undertaker.
That's the last
No,
one.
it starts with red-haired.
Oh.
Nice pun.
Yes,
but...
I'm going right. I'm going right to left. Oh dear.
Okay.
There was a red-haired squirrel that lived near the sea.
Okay, so that's been used. So now the next one is octopus carer, and you give a word for Tom.
Tiger.
Tiger.
And the squirrel liked nothing better than to go every day to visit his friend, the tiger.
Ooh.
I was thinking tiger.
And my word?
Oh, yeah.
Word.
That was going to be horrible there. Palindrome.
Oh, for goodness.
Okay. So, the tiger loved palindromes. So the tiger had a special race car. And it's called itself Bob. Or on Tuesdays, it liked to be called Anna. And this tiger was a lovely person. And not only did it love palindromes, but it also loved octopuses. In fact, you could call it a carer of octopuses, or an octopus carer. And the word for you is going to be lethargic.
Oh, well, the octopus carer was really upset because all the octopuses in the sea lately had been really quite laid back. They were just floating around and waving their arms.
Even before Mars.
What?
Lethargic.
I already said lethargic.
Yeah,
Yes. All right, they were lethargic.
Yeah, anyway.
Sandy.
So the tiger recruited his friend, the squirrel, to go and find out what had happened to all the octopuses. So they, the first thing they did was stroll off down the sandy beach and speak to a representative of the octopus population. Quizzical.
So they asked Bob Anna, the tiger, said to the octopus representative, "Why are you all so lethargic? What's happened here?" And the octopus representative looked back quite quizzically and said, "What are you talking about? We're as energetic as we always are, aren't we?" Nutsy.
Now, Bob Anna was quite clear that these octopuses weren't behaving like they usually did. There was something a bit nutty in their behaviour. And then he wondered, had the red-haired squirrel been dropping nuts in the sea? Wrench.
Okay.
With a W.
Because the tiger, being an expert on octopus physiology, knew that nuts interfered with their sense of time. So he queried what the squirrel had been up to lately. And the squirrel replied, "Well, I've just been burying my nuts as normal. I couldn't find my normal spade to dig with, so I've been using this spanner, which the Americans call a wrench, to dig my hole." Anyway, but yes, I've been burying my nuts as I always do, because that's my job. I find a dead nut, I bury it.
You didn't say nut undertaker.
Least.
So, the red-haired squirrel, the Nutty Undertaker, and Bob Anna, the tiger, decided that what was happening to the octopuses was really the least of their worries, and they should be considering what was going on in their own lives. And then they said to the octopuses, "Hey, you know what? We love you, and if ever there's something that you need, we'll be here for you. But for now, we're just going to let you live because we are mere people of the land and we do not understand the ways of the sea. So, yeah, we're going to lay back a little bit." And so they carried on loving each other, but from a separate distance. The end.
That went odd.
That is the game of
palindromes.
Hello, Cheyenne, and I'm doing well. And we've got Tom and Polly, so for a change, you can see Tom's partner. And we're going to now. That was the end of Faybell, and we're either going to play Say Anything or we're going to play Giftabell. I don't know if anyone has any preference. So just to let people know, Say Anything is a game by North Star Games, which is, I know that you saw it yesterday, well, 2 days ago, Cheyenne, which is all about having questions and we reply. The other one is Giftabell, where we invent fantastical gifts for fictional people. I think you might have also seen that. And yeah, Say Anything might be a thing that you can join in the comments. So it might make sense to do that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Is
Okay.
still around?
If who's still around?
Is Christopher still around?
No, I don't think they are. But Cheyenne, let me know if you're happy to play. If you are, we've got Tom is yellow. Polly is blue. I am red. And Cheyenne is grey. If you want to join in. If you don't, that is also totally okay. So the way this works, I will be the first judge. And I will say, in my opinion, what would be the worst place to wake up? So if you're in the comments, type in, what would be the worst place to wake up? I hope you can see that. And Tom and Polly, just think about that for a moment. And then, so Polly, where do you think would be the worst place to wake up?
On the very edge of a cliff.
That is a bad place. I mean, you could fall over. Yeah, you could die. I could see that being quite bad. And Tom, where do you think is the worst place to wake up?
Inside a coffin.
And
Sorry.
Cheyenne has said in an abandoned house. And I think that Tom might have heard me talking about the thing that a previous friend said.
No, I haven't heard you talking about it.
Seriously?
Yeah, no.
Okay, fair enough.
I have seen the French film The Vanishing, though. So
I have a name in my hand. So Cheyenne said in an abandoned house. Tom said inside a coffin. Polly said on the edge of a cliff. Now, everyone guess who I would have voted for. Guess my choice, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. And so, we'll reveal. Tom and Polly reveal.
I totally have faith in myself. Oh,
So do I. In me, not you.
So why do you
Faith in
have faith
myself.
in Tom? Oh, and Cheyenne's got faith in themselves.
We all got faith in ourselves today. That's good.
But I thought you voted for Tom, Polly.
No.
Then she voted for herself as well.
Okay. Well, I'm afraid to say that it is Tom. Because I think, yeah, this is actually waking up inside a coffin. That's going to be just super, super horrible. And that you're probably going to die. And yeah, that would be a lot of torment. Whereas in an abandoned house, at least you could maybe manage to get out on the edge of a cliff. You know, okay, as long as you step back, you're okay.
I mean, it depends. I mean, this could be the first scene from a movie, and it depends what kind of movie that is. I mean, the abandoned house could be a gateway to hell, or
I mean, it could be that you
Where the
bust
fun
out of
magical
the coffin
man
and
lives.
you break out of the coffin. But for me, I don't think I'd be able to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, so that means that I've got 1 point because I chose an answer that someone else agreed was the best one. And Tom has 2 points, one for the best answer, one for having faith in yourself. So, Polly, you are asking us, what would be the dumbest thing to say to your new mother-in-law?
Right. Okay. So I'm judging on that one.
We need to answer, what would be the dumbest thing to say to your new mother-in-law?
okay.
Okay. So, Polly, feel free to call on us as you see fit.
Okay, Bez, you first.
Okay, so you'd say to your mother-in-law, "Hi, I think that you're even more beautiful than my wife."
Ooh. And Cheyenne has said, "You're so stupid." That would be a really bad thing to say to your mother-in-law. Tom?
Oh my God, is that what she's going to look like in 20 years? I'm sorry.
Okay,
Oh dear.
Polly, have you made your choice?
Don't choose me.
Yeah.
So it's between "You're so stupid," "Oh my God, is that what she's going to look like in 20 years?" or "You're even more beautiful than my wife."
Yeah. Right. So if everybody would like to vote,
I
So-
think that Tom's answer was the funniest, and
go for each other.
I went for yours.
I don't know who Cheyenne's going for, but yeah, okay,
I
Cheyenne's
can't
got
go for herself again.
themselves.
And
And who's the real winner?
I've got to say, Bez, I think that is possibly the worst thing.
I should have had more faith in myself. So Tom gets a point, I get a point, and Polly gets a point. And should we let Cheyenne be the judge for a round? I mean, it could work.
Yeah.
No, Tom's not being the judge first.
Can let Sharon be first.
Sorry, Cheyenne, I see you asking why. I'm not sure what you're asking why about. Just if you wanted to be the judge, you could be. If you don't want to be, that's totally up to you. Let us know. I'm going to let Tom be the judge first, but you can let us know what you prefer. So, Tom, the question is, what's going through my head right now? So
I never know the answer to that one.
we're talking about what's going through Tom's head right now. Huh. Okay, what's going through Tom's head right now is, what is everyone thinking of me?
And I'm going to say, completely vacant.
And
I'm thinking about food.
I mean, haven't you normally eaten by this time, Tom?
Well, yes, we have eaten, but I do bring up food quite a lot. And
I mean, you can bring up food multiple times.
Yeah.
So the possible answers from Cheyenne. Cheyenne thinks Tom's thinking about food. Polly said completely vacant. I said Tom's thinking about what we think of Tom. And it's just your favourite answer, Tom, so we have to guess now. Have you picked your favourite?
I have.
Okay. I'm going to go for this one.
What's that?
It's me. I've got faith in myself this time. I think you're totally thinking about what we think of you.
And I'm going to say, I'm picking myself because he had that look on where he's looking at something, thinking of something really deep, and that usually means nothing.
And Cheyenne's got faith in themselves as well.
And so she should.
You went for Cheyenne.
Oh, nice. So Cheyenne gets 2 points.
Yeah.
But Tom's still in the lead with 4. So now it's back to me to judge. And in my opinion, what would be the most fun activity to do on the moon?
Ooh.
I mean, yeah, let's assume that, you've got enough food and oxygen going on in your astronaut suits to survive. So you're on the moon, you've got low gravity. What would be the most fun thing to do on the moon? I want to hear some good ideas. I mean, I'm probably never going to get to act on any of them. But flight of fancy isn't a terrible thing.
It's been 40 years now. Surely we're going to establish moon bases any day now. It's been 60 years. Sorry, 60 years.
Okay, so I'm calling on you, Polly. What do you think would be
50
the
years. 50, sorry.
most fun thing to do on the moon?
I think trampolining, because you could bounce really high.
Okay, so you've gone with trampolining.
Yes.
Cheyenne's gone with just jumping. And Tom, what would you go with?
I was going with aerobics. But I don't know quite why. It's kind of like jumping.
I'm allowing them, like, if ever there's multiple answers that are too similar, the judge can say, okay, that one needs to go back. But I have made a choice. This is my favorite answer. So now you've got to guess whose name is in my hand. Who is my favorite answer?
Yeah.
And reveal it in any order.
Yeah.
I'm going for Polly.
Hmm.
And I'm going for Tom because I like the idea of anaerobic aerobics.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I should have made that.
Cheyenne's going for themselves, but actually, it was trampolining, because trampolining just seems like even better than jumping in some ways. It's like, I mean, jumping's all very good, but if you've got the trampoline, then, oh yeah, Polly. And so that means that Polly gets a point for coming up with it, Tom gets a point for guessing, and I get a point as the judge. And now, Polly, why did the chicken cross the road? We need to tell you why the chicken crossed the road, in your opinion, apparently.
Right. Do you want to start, Bez?
I think that you would like the chicken to have crossed the road because the chicken has free will, and the chicken is making a stand to say, I want to be on the other side of the road, damn it, and I am going to the other side of the road. That is why the chicken crossed the road, because it bloomin' well wanted to.
All right, Tom.
I'm going to say the chicken crossed the road because Wile E. Coyote has lowered his sights from Roadrunners and has laid a trail of chicken food with a big pile of TNT at the end on the other side of the road.
And Cheyenne has said to get to the other side. Yep.
Fair to be said.
So, because it wanted to, or following a crazy trail and so ending up in a trap from Wile E. Coyote, or to get to the other side. Polly, you need to select your favorite answer.
Yeah.
And I'm going to choose this one.
Right.
Have you chosen, Polly?
Yeah. And I'm going to say...
Oh, no, you don't say who you've chosen yet.
Oh, well.
No, sorry.
Okay.
I was saying that... I was
so,
thinking that Tom's one would be your favourite.
I
Because,
myself. Cheyenne had favoured herself.
But I said...
Yay!
I like the idea of the chicken having free will.
I thought that appealed to you.
So, Tom, what would be the weirdest New Year's resolution? Is the question that we have to answer for you.
Okay.
So not the worst, just the weirdest. I mean, this could go in a lot of... Okay.
Okay. If you've got anything, shout out.
Somebody resolving to invent time travel.
I think that someone resolving to fold 72 pieces of paper on the third Saturday of every month.
Very specific.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it?
Is that something that you've done?
No.
Okay. Checking.
Cheyenne seems to have gone. Maybe they've lost connection, but so it's between us two.
Okay. So we've got invent time travel or fold lots of pieces of paper on specific days.
Have you made your choice, Tom?
Yes, I have.
Right.
Okay, I think that mine was weirder.
Yes, so do I.
So do I.
Yay! So that means that Tom gets 2 points, I get 2 points, and Polly gets a point.
Although Polly probably did raise some interesting paradox issues, like resolving to invent time travel. You don't need to, because if you were going to, then you already could have done. But anyway, it's fine.
What do we
I
want
mean, if
time
we
travel when
were
we
already
want it
going
with
to
the
invent
material?
time travel, would we have already come back and just given it to ourselves?
Yeah. So does that prove that we never invent time travel?
Probably.
What would be the most inappropriate item to bring to show and tell?
Ooh.
American.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really have show and tell in the UK, but these questions are, I think it is an American version of the game, and this is...
Did Polly need to ever do that then?
Don't
How did
know.
they do that at their school?
They might have done. I don't know.
Anyway, sorry, is this you asking us this time?
Yeah, this is
Me
me
and Bob.
asking you.
Right.
What is the weirdest thing to bring along to a show and tell?
Your grandmother's ashes.
A mirror.
I mean, it inappropriate. Okay. That's difficult because
It could be getting
That's-
really deep.
that's
Like,
two
today, class,
questions.
I'm going to show you yourselves. I don't know.
Oh
I'm
my
gonna-
goodness.
yeah.
Could
Get really
totally do
philosophical.
that. I'm going to. I've made a choice.
Okay.
Okay, Tom and Polly, who do you think I've gone for? You've gone for each other. And I did think that Tom's was a little bit more inappropriate.
Yeah.
Because whilst Polly's is more mundane, I think that you could still talk about a mirror. And, maybe you say, oh, this is a pretty mirror or something. And maybe it's my favorite mirror. Whereas your grandmother's ashes, I mean, it feels a bit wrong that you're taking out of the house. That's all to begin with, just like going around. I mean, so
Yeah, definitely inappropriate.
I get a point, Polly gets a point, and Tom gets a point. And I'm going to give Cheyenne one in absence. Just, why not?
Yeah.
So, Polly, what's the most confusing thing ever?
Ooh, the most confusing thing ever. Right.
I'm going to say it's the ultimate question to life, the universe, and everything.
I'm going to say trying to explain the rules of decrypto while slightly drunk.
Okay, well, it's two very different answers. Have you made a choice, Polly?
I have, yes.
Okay, I think it was mine because I think that the ultimate question is. So who was it?
Wow. It was Tom, because the ultimate question, the answer might be confusing, but the question is a good question. Whereas anything.
Well,
to
we
do
don't
with
know the question. We don't know the question. That's the issue. So Tom gets a point, and Polly doesn't.
Yeah.
And that means that we're playing up until 10, so Tom's one away from winning.
Ooh.
And we'll probably win with this final thing. It says, what can you say to your dog? Actually, let's do a different one. What really ticks people off? What really annoys people? Hmm. The thing that really annoys people right now in this day and age is things getting in the way of their freedom, whether that's having to stay inside or anything else. It's the thing that really ticks people off is things getting in the way of what they want to do, in the way of their freedoms.
And I'd say what really ticks people off is having it pointed out to them that they're wrong.
Mm.
It doesn't matter if somebody is wrong, but yeah. Even if it's true, people don't like telling it.
We have an
Okay.
answer.
Okay.
I think that you went with Polly, because I think that even though mine might be more, yeah, I think that in the heat of the moment, that is going to be the thing that more actually ticks you off in the heat of the moment.
And I said me as well. Yeah.
Okay, so Tom gets 2 points,
And
winning
wins.
the game.
Yay.
Polly gets 2 points, and I get 1 point. And that's the scores on the doors.
Yay.
Yay.
So that was Say Anything. And yeah, that is that game, and I will just do a quick wipe. But before we move on, let's talk about, do you have anything that you are hoping for over the next day or so?
We'll be getting our first delivery of a box of veg tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I hope that'll be nice. So,
Yeah. And I'm hoping that the homemade wine that we should have bottled months ago is actually still drinkable when we bottle it tomorrow.
yeah, I mean, there's drinkable and there's nice. I mean,
I'm just hoping it's drinkable, really. It's not going to be nice, not after all this length of time.
I guess I'm hoping that I get the stuff I've planned done. I'm hoping that maybe I might get to play a game with my housemates. If I do, that would be really nice, because we've still not played one, but they have expressed interest in Chronicles of Crime, because they were saying, oh, I'd really like to play, can we play an exciting game? I said, well, what do you mean by an exciting game? That's a bit vague. And they went, well, something that's a bit longer than 20 minutes, not so long that I might fall asleep, and something that's got a good theme like Cluedo. And so I was like, okay, well, how about Chronicles of Crime? Because if they like murder mystery, hopefully that will be good. And I told them about it quite a few months ago, and they were interested back then. So hopefully this might be our chance to actually play it together. Because, yeah, we'll see how it goes. It is one that it's a proper co-op. You don't have asymmetric abilities or anything. You just kind of decide together, okay, where are we going to go? And you can try to race against the thing and do it in the least amount of moves possible. But I think it's more fun if you just take your time. Also, I'm hoping, I don't know if either today or Thursday, to go out to the shops, to Lidl, to do another weekly shop. So, I don't know how it'll work with 3 players, but I'm up for finding out if you are, Giftable.
yeah.
Okay, so let me start. And
Have you played this one?
I've seen it played, I've not played it.
so the way that this works, I'll explain it as we go along. Basically, give the name of a person, for example, Sienna. Now, Sienna, we've got to decide what is Sienna's profession or vocation. And Sienna is going to be a baritonist, plays the baritone sax.
Oh,
Is that a word, baritonist?
It-
I don't
Tis
think
now.
it's.
it could be, yeah.
Now, you have to invent a present for Sienna, the baritonist, and it's going to be one word starting with T or H and one word starting with O or D in any order. And you give when you've got something in your mind, you put up your hand, and that way I'll know when you're ready. In the meantime, me tell you a bit more about Sienna, the baritonist. It's like Sienna's really into the low frequencies. I mean, throughout all their time, like they fell in love with music at a young age, but then they grew a sort of familiarity with snakes. And just like snakes are all about the low frequencies, so they are like, yeah, I don't want to be messing around with a piccolo, or going off even with a violin, and even like the keyboard. I mean, half of that is just no good for me. So I'm going to go for the baritone saxophone. Okay, so Polly, what is your idea?
I think a nice gift would be to broaden out the musical experience, a tenor oboe.
Okay.
I think to get Sienna in touch with all the great jazz saxophonists of the past, I think I'll get her some hard drugs.
And I think that Sienna's favourite present would be, I think it's going to be the tenor oboe. So that's for Polly. Now, Polly, you've got to come up with the name of someone.
Umberto.
Umberto, and what is their profession?
He's a woodworker.
Umberto the woodworker. And you can carry on telling us about Umberto if you wish.
Umberto is from a small town in Switzerland, and when he was a child, his grandfather used to carve magnificent cuckoo clocks, and Umberto trained with him from a young age. Sadly, he really didn't have much of a talent. Tom, go for it.
I think Umberto would love some rare wood from the place of his forefathers, some Italian birch.
Oh my God, that's so... Oh, okay.
Was that what you were going for?
No, I was going to say Umberto, is... Sometimes Umberto goes around needling around with little finely crafted tools, but sometimes Umberto wants a battle axe to just attack the trees with. And not just that, but Umberto wants an intricate battle axe, just so that Umberto can feel really powerful as they go battling the trees.
I mean, the wood would be a very sensitive present, but I think Umberto would like the intricate battle axe because he likes good workmanship. So, yeah.
Hey. So I get to say the next person, and this is going to be Nora. And Nora is a canoeist. And so you've got to think of a present for Nora using one of these letters and one of these letters. And I think that Nora's really healthy and in good health, takes a lot of care of their body, even in this day and age. Nora gets up first thing in the morning, does a long workout, then eats some eggs, and Nora's really itching to get out of this isolation so that Nora can get back into the water. And interestingly, Nora lives near a river, but Nora's really annoyed right now because there's some people going too close, and Nora's a bit worried about getting onto the water in case Nora catches, the virus. Okay, Polly, what's your gift for Nora?
Some amateur weightlifting gear so that she doesn't concentrate too much on outside.
I think Nora, to combat those mid-canoe lulls, you need a bit of sugar. So I'm going to get her some waterproof jelly.
So that once Nora gets back onto the water, Nora can just have a little snack in the middle of things.
Yep, just a little extra sugar.
I mean, I think that's a really nice present, but I think that right now, what Nora would appreciate is something that they can use right now. So, yeah, it's got to be the weightlifting gear. Sorry.
Olive.
Olive is...
Oh, dear. A farmer.
Okay.
Not an olive farmer.
Yeah, that would just be silly. Well, I was kind of wondering that.
Not nominative determinism. Yes, Olive is a farmer. She actually farms sheep, just for wool, because she really wanted to be a dress designer, and she got interested in fabrics and interested in wool production, and somehow ended up buying a farm and producing her own wool. And now she's got in that position. She really doesn't know how to get out of it. So she's a little bit stuck. What she'd really like to do is pass the farm on to somebody else and then go and open a factory making woolen clothing.
Well, I think Olive needs help with herding the sheep, and I saw an Australian documentary some time ago called Babe. What she really needs is a remarkable pig to help out with the sheep.
Oh yeah, that was a good documentary.
It was, yes.
I think that what Olive would quite like to get onto the career that they really want is a pinafore decorator. So it's a kind of piece of equipment that allows you to decorate a pinafore dress with all sorts of things. And maybe this will allow Olive to make the leap into her real chosen career.
I'd really like to give Olive the chance to have a new career, but I think what she really just needs now is a sheep pig.
Okay. So, Tom.
Xerxes.
Xerxes is...
Inquisitor.
Xerxes is the Inquisitor.
Is it the Spanish Inquisition? Is it the Inquisitors from Warhammer 50k, 40k? It's some other sort of Inquisitor. I think it's a class you can play in Pathfinder.
Okay, I've got one.
Oh, I should have been saying a bit more about Xerxes. Xerxes is a very dutiful Inquisitor. Doesn't take pleasure in their job, but they, Okay, right, okay. Bez.
Well, at the end of an Inquisition, I think that sometimes you need an execution. It's just the way it happens sometimes. So what you want is a practiced executioner, someone who will round out off the team and allow, Xerxes's inquisitions to come to a sensible end.
And I think a nice gift would be some legal papers so that he could get everything tied up properly and move on to inquisiting somewhere else.
What papers?
Legal papers.
Oh, legal papers. Ah.
It is so terrible when the executions go messily. So I think I'll have to give it to Bez as practice executioner.
I don't know if that's a good thing. And we're going to talk about Monica, who is a Monica the Mime. And what would Monica the Mime like? Well, let me tell you about Monica the Mime. Monica the Mime, interestingly, they actually like to talk a lot in their normal day-to-day life. And it all came about when they were quite young, and someone was like, oh, I bet you couldn't just shut up for a day. They're like, oh, I bet I could. And then they went through, and then they found that they were able to be really expressive. But it does take a bit of effort, and that's why when they're off duty as a mime, they do just like to talk, and, they've got a loving family, and Monica is all about how you can convey so much acting nuance just through the motion of your body. Okay, any ideas? What would a mime like? I mean, I know there's a lot of hatred about mimes. Some people might be asking, does a mime deserve a presence at all? And to those people, I'd be saying, well, a mimes are quite easy to avoid. I mean, I know there's this big meme with saying, oh, mimes are terrible. But if you don't like a mime, just walk away. They're not actually going to accost you or follow you. Frankly, you should be enjoying the fact that they're putting on this show, and sometimes they do things in real life. So let's talk about what Monica the Mime would like. Polly.
I think she would like a dozen nougat, because it's a sweet that she could eat while she was performing and nobody would realise it was taking her so long.
And Tom?
I just want to send her on a nice date so she can find something other than mime in her life.
Oh.
Well, I'm sorry, Tom, you've not been listening.
I know.
Monica already has a family. And, Monica's happily married. So what? And Monica's, I guess Monica might be polyamorous. I don't know. But I think that, yeah. I think the nougat is what Monica would go for. And Monica feels really insulted that you're saying Monica needs to find something other than miming.
I'm sorry, Monica.
Okay, Polly.
Clive.
Clive is a...
the electrician.
Clive is an electrician.
Yes.
And we've got O or V and T or G.
Clive the electrician really thinks it's a vocation to go around and make sure that people have got the electrical equipment installed safely. He's found some really horrible installations in people's houses, and he's also found things that were quite amusing when he's gone to things like he was called to a house where somebody's socket wasn't working and it turned out to be a wall safe. And sometimes people have said, oh, we've got this spooky thing where the light goes off when we're halfway on the landing. And it turns out that it wasn't a ghost at all. It was a timer switch that they didn't know they had.
I've got one.
Bez first.
Okay. Well, what Clive doesn't know is that ghosts do actually exist. And some of the friendly ghosts, they will increase your electricity. And these are the voltage ghosts. And so what I'm going to offer Clive is just a little group, a little troubadours, some troubadours, if you will, of voltage ghosts. And these can help Clive get the electricity running all the time.
That's how electricity works.
Yes, it's all about the voltage ghosts.
Well, I think Clive can become the sort of get his own thing, stand out from all the other electricians. He can be the glam electrician with a glam voltmeter.
I think
basically wrapped in tinfoil.
Yeah, I like the idea of the little voltage ghost, but I think to glam up his equipment would really be good. So, Tom.
Okay, Tom.
Leopold.
Leopold the
horse whisperer.
Leopold the horse whisperer. So that's someone who kind of trains horses by whispering to them?
Yeah, that sort of thing. So it gets into the mind of the horse and can just tell them what to do.
Tell us more about him.
Yeah, he discovered a gift for horse whispering when he was on the farm back in his youth, and he was learning to ride, and the horse started galloping, and he said, "Oh, don't gallop," and the horse said, "Oh, all right," and stopped. And all the trainers said, "How do you do that?" "Oh, I just said stop," and it did.
Nice.
And ever since then, he's had the gift for being able to speak to horses. He's tried it with other animals; it just doesn't work. Either that, or the cat's just ignoring him.
Yep.
Okay, go for best.
Okay, so even though Leopold, was it?
Yes.
Even though Leopold loves whispering to horses and gets on really well with them, Leopold never had a horse of their own, which is incredibly sad. And so what I'd like to give Leopold is several equines.
And I'd like to give him a bat monitor because he can't talk to other animals. So, perhaps
Never tried bats.
No, he's not tried bats.
You have to whisper quite high frequencies. I think several equines and the whisperer would make a fantastic circus act. All they have to do is say, walk around in a circle, and they would.
That would be pretty cool. Yeah. And they could have the greatest show that we've ever seen.
Absolutely.
Well, we're going to talk about Yasmin, who is a magician.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got S or C and O or U. So, Yasmin, the magician, had a time many years ago when they saw someone pull a coin out of their ear. And they were like, "Oh my God, what is this?" And then it was only 10 years later when they realized that it wasn't actually magic. It was sleight of hand. And far from being disillusioned, this actually intensified their desire to think, well, I could do it. And I could learn to do this. I could learn to be skillful. And Yasmin actually ended up on the streets hustling people and doing the free cups and making balls disappear and cards disappear and asking people to find things and then using such sleight of hand that they could scam people out of money. But now they've decided to go, a better path and just do magic for entertainment and for giving people that same sense of joy and wonder that they once had when they had coins pulled out of their ear. So, Polly.
I'd like to buy Yasmin some unusual coins to remind her of where it all started.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's very sweet. Tom.
Well, for hiding things up your sleeve, what you need is some unobtrusive cards.
I think that's a very practical gift. But I think that Yasmin would be really touched by the unusual coins. So we've had 8 rounds. We've had 9 rounds. Normally we play 12. Shall we finish off or shall we stop there? How are you feeling?
Okay.
Happy either way. Good. Do 3 more.
Okay, let's finish it off.
Yeah.
I mean, do you have a preference, Polly?
No, it's okay either way.
Okay. So, who is this?
Rowena.
Rowena. Rowena.
Yeah.
And what's his Rowena? That's just another R. Wow.
I think she's a hairdresser.
Rowena the hairdresser.
Yes. Rowena is a hairdresser. Her mother was a hairdresser. Her grandmother was a hairdresser. And, she just sort of went into the business without thinking about it, really. She's very good. She has lots of different styles that she can do, and people will come in and ask for different colours, and she can suggest one that she actually thinks will be better. They often don't listen, but, she sends people away happy, and at the end of the day, she goes home and thinks, why didn't I do something else? Why am I a hairdresser? It doesn't make her sad, but sometimes when she hears people in the salon and she's talking to them and they're saying things that they've done, she thinks, oh, I might like to do that. But she doesn't know whether it really is just that she likes listening to people talk. Right. Bez?
Well, it sounds like what Rowena really wants is a new opportunity. Because I think that Rowena just needs to have someone come along and say, to guide them a little bit and to take them in any direction, just to show them all the possibilities that are in this world. So they would like some new opportunities.
That's very nice.
Well, I think Rowena is doing a great job, and it is a worthwhile thing to do. All she needs is some nice customers, and she'll get to love her job again.
Oh, I think I'm going to go with nice customers, because she's not unhappy in a job, and if she could learn to love it, then she could be happy with what she got. So I'll go with nice customers.
Oh. So, penultimately.
Bucky.
Bucky, the
lion tamer.
Bucky is a lion tamer. And so, tell us about Bucky the lion tamer as we think about what they might want.
Bucky actually was raised by lions from a young age. It's not that they were an orphan or anything, it's just they had some pet lions and some fairly neglectful parents, so the lions did most of the actual parenting. So the actual lions that Bucky performs with are the ones that they've lived with their entire lives, and so they're great friends. So it's not actually, they go through the motions of, haha, I'm going to crack this whip and that's going to make you jump on. But the lions know exactly what they're doing, and they're not. And the whip's not a real whip anyway. It's just made of string. So yeah, he wouldn't do anything to harm the lions, and basically he looks on them as his mum and dad, who he just tells to get on stools every now and then. Maybe balance a ball on the nose, or is that seals? Anyway. You got one, Beth?
Yeah, I think I've just about got one. So it's a bit of a stretch, but I say that as if all of the other ones have been perfectly on point.
Yeah, up until now. Yeah.
So, even though they are able to communicate through, what their growls and stuff, still, I want to give Bucky the gift of the feline language, so that they can properly understand everything that the lion means, just what every and every means, and every I don't know if lions make that noise, but basically now they would understand all the feline language.
And I would have said some friendly tigers to expand the act a bit.
Ooh, I like that. I mean, no, Tom, absolutely pick me. I meant to be competitive, aren't I?
Well, I think if you could give Bucky the gift of feline language, they'd just have such a lovely conversation. All those years, they could say, "Oh yeah, that's what you meant that time when you growled at me."
Hey.
So feline language.
Yes.
So finally, we've got Enid, who is a sociologist, and you've got A or G and S or D as your words. So Enid, the sociologist, was always quite interested in people, and for a while they considered going down to live with monkeys or gorillas or bonobos, but then they decided that they would look at some creatures that were a bit more similar to themselves, namely humans, and they are really fascinated by just what makes people tick. But also, Enid, this may or may not be important, they really like pasta. Like kind of good, freshly homemade pasta. Not that, no dried up rubbish that's been running around. So Enid, the sociologist, would really like some pasta. But also, they would like to learn about humans as well. Do you have any ideas?
Yeah, go on then.
Polly? Okay, let me keep telling you about Enid, the sociologist. So, their love of pasta came about because of their mother. And they first managed to crank the handle to kind of make the tagliatelle when they were 8 years old. Okay, Polly.
I'd like to get her some super gnocchi so that she could try some other Italian starch-based food.
Not just some average gnocchi, some super gnocchi.
Super gnocchi. Yeah, because average gnocchi can be a bit soggy and horrible, but super gnocchi is really nice.
Of course it is. It's super.
Well,
that took me age.
I've not gone the pasta route. I think what sociologists all really want is their own government department, so they can actually get down to changing things in society the way that should be run. They keep on trying to tell the government what to do, but they keep on not listening. So if you actually ran it, you can actually get it right.
I really like that, and I think that even though, yeah, I do like the idea that anything that's got super in as an adjective, you're telling me it's super, so it's like clearly a great present, but your own government department, I think that that's got to be a better present, especially if Enid actually has power. So I'm going to give that to Tom. And interestingly, I think that makes it a three-way tie.
Yay!
Everybody wins. Good.
That's the first time that's ever happened. I don't think this game needs a tie break.
No, I don't think so.
But yeah, so that was the last game, and thank you very much for playing along. It was lovely to see you both, and it was good fun playing. And thank you to Cheyenne, who was here for a wee bit, although you've gone off. I don't know if it was your connection or if you just suddenly had stuff to do. Either way is fine, but it's lovely seeing you. And thank you to David Brain, who made this game. Thank you to all the people who made this game. And thank you to, I guess, yeah, why not, all the Kickstarter backers who allowed me to print this and then this. But yeah, and while I'm thanking people, thank you, Tom, for making Categorical.
Thank you for making the L deck.
And yeah, let's thank someone who's got nothing to do with the games that we've played today. I want to thank my... Yeah, I want to thank my housemate for making a lovely meal this lunchtime. I was actually quite hungry. It was bits of chicken with some vegetables and a lovely mustard sauce. And also want to thank Gilhova, give a shout out to them, who's in New York City running Tabletop Simulator playtests. And I might actually join up tonight. It starts at 10 p.m. UK time, which is a bit late, but that's New York City. And then I normally stay for like one game and then play someone else's game, head off. That's what I did last week. And then on Saturday, I played someone else's game and played my own game. So, because, you know, it's the same group. So obviously I don't want to just come one day and play mine and play someone else's. But yeah, I want to thank people. And yeah, do you have anyone that you'd like to thank, Tom and Polly, as we're winding down?
I'd like to thank Dolly Parton for writing the song Jolene.
Polly?
I'd like to thank the supermarket for not running out of chocolate biscuits at this really difficult time.
Oh, that's a good
biscuits
one.
are good.
Yeah, I would like to thank all the... You know, we clap for the NHS, but in all seriousness, I would like to clap for supermarket workers as well. Because genuinely, I just want... Whenever I go into a shop, I want to say, thank you very much. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. And I do actually say that like about half the time, I would say, because I think it's important to show appreciation, because they're going to work. These are the people who are doing a really difficult job. And also, yeah, the people who do keep stuff working. It's not, the financial markets in London City. It's the people who take a rubbish and stuff. But it has been a lovely time with you both, and I hope that you have a good night's sleep. Do you have any plans tomorrow that you're looking forward to?
I'll be at work. I'll be working from home, but I'll be at work. So finishing at about 5 o'clock and relaxing.
I will hopefully get the last of the videos done for the LDEC games, which will be Faybell is the only one left to do.
Yay!
The how to play videos.
Now you've played it.
Yes, it'll all come back to me easily. Yeah.
And I am hoping to have I'm looking forward to having a really good constructive chat with Jason Hodgson, because we have started having a chat about businessy stuff once a week to keep me organized and keep me on track. But thank you to everyone who's watching this, and for now, I guess, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.